Welcome to the show. This is MoneyWise and I'm Rina Hicks. This is part 2 of the conversation that I am having with Ciru Okobi from Garden City Business Park. We've been talking about commercial real estate and the changes and the trends and what we should be doing for those of us who are business owners, investors, employees, employers in this space where commercial real estate is concerned. It's been an interesting conversation. If it's the first time you are watching this particular conversation, I would recommend that you go back and watch our first video. I'll share a link so that you can find it easily. I want to focus on the evolution of the office as we know it. I will be speaking to one of the directors here at Garden City. Ciru, welcome back.
Thank you, Rina. Happy to be here again.
Just wondering, what are the trends that you see where office spaces are concerned? I remember a conversation we were having with you earlier and you talked about offices sort of becoming like the home. Could you please talk about that in terms of just what trends are you seeing and how is the office going to evolve with time?
Right before COVID, we're seeing a trend where elements of the home were being brought to a space where we spent most of our days. Brighter colors, the kind of textures and materials that we were using in the space. Now there's an added layer of ensuring that our spaces are not only well designed, but also health and safe to give comfort. Also, there's a lot of effort and thought put around the materials that we're using, not only in our build, but also in our furniture. In the past, we would talk about who's your internet provider, and that was the extent of your digital requirements. The need to have virtual capabilities in your office, an environment where people can still isolate while in the office by using support technology. All that will influence developers because they have to allow for the infrastructure to enable this digital architecture in response to the need to ensure that our buildings are healthy and our buildings are safe.
For those of us who already have offices and buildings that already exist and don't have the ability to sort of reconfigure everything, what little things can we start to do to accommodate these sorts of changes so that we modernize and respond to the needs for health and safety?
Some of us shy away from opening our windows because of the Nairobi dust, but allowing for natural ventilation where possible.
As opposed to the aircon that flows through?
Both. Balancing both. Where mechanical ventilation is not available, ensuring that there is natural ventilation. We're getting questions from tenants about what kind of filters are you using. Everyone's asking very specific questions to determine those facts. Those are things that people in existing spaces can review and evaluate how they can respond to current health and safety needs.
This is so interesting. So as Garden City, what are you doing to be able to respond to these new needs and trends where commercial real estate is concerned?
So the building we're sitting in that you're referring to was actually completed, as you said, last year in 2019. Our anchor tenant ABL moved in around the same time. We were, I guess, fortunate or lucky that a lot of measures that needed to be incorporated at this time were already in place. In the bathrooms and in some of the access points where individuals can use card access instead of using the finger access. Employing cleaning and sanitization that would allow for limited exposure, limited transmission. More importantly, collaborating with your tenants so that you can support their business needs, where your tenant can operate during these unprecedented times. And then also just trying to stay abreast of the guidelines that are being laid out there by our local officials, but also see what best practices are out there on a local and international level. We're also having a lot of collaboration amongst landlords to kind of learn from each other as far as best practices. Those are things that people in existing spaces can review and evaluate how they can respond to current health and safety needs.
It's something that I saw, and it's a tagline you have on most of your material: live, work, play. I also read that Garden City is the first mixed-use development in the region. Why is that important to anybody thinking about a space to either work in, live in, sort of shopping? Why should that matter?
Well, you rightly pointed that we are the first and true mixed-use development in this region, and it's a unique offering on this corridor, on the Thicket Superhighway. You mentioned the ethos of live, work, play. We're offering residences via our apartments and townhomes where you can purchase and lease, work at our grade A office space. We have this very impressive mall with a diverse range of entertainment and retail. Whenever amenities are built around a residential community, those property values automatically appreciate, which explains why access to amenities really add value to a community. So having a community hub is something that we are bringing to this region. We also have aspirations to have a healthcare facility because it promotes a more healthy, balanced lifestyle.
You mentioned grade A, and I just want to understand, what does that mean?
We talk about grade A, grade B, and grade C buildings. Garden City Business Park is a grade A building. We offer ample parking at 4 bays per 1,000. Our building is designed to international standards. The quality of the design is also reflected in our ability to attain green building status through our AFC EDGE certification. Garden City Business Park, as a high gross net efficiency, allows us to stand out as a grade A building in this market.
You talked about high gross net efficiency, and why is it important for somebody who's looking for an office to lease?
When you think about the basis on how you pay rent, how much of your lettable space are you actually maximizing? So if you're paying rent on that basis and you can only maximize on say 80% of the space because you have a pillar here, a pillar there, and then a pillar on top of the pillar, it's not a very functional space. The way we designed our space to allow for maximum functionality, we're actually at a 90% gross net efficiency, which is above average in our market. So when you are leasing space, you are maximizing on the space that you're leasing.
I wouldn't mind moving here.
I hope you would. It's a beautiful space.
Honestly, I mean, your apartments are beautiful. The spaces are nice. I love the size of your parkings. And I'm being honest, I don't struggle with parking. I can see the lines. They're not hidden under my tires. I mean, you offer value. There's no doubt about that. But the impression then I get is that it's expensive. And so I'm just wondering, given even the environment we're in right now, would we as a business be able to afford the kind of space that you have here?
I mean, one of our biggest selling points is all that value add that we've talked about at very competitive rates. Who are we serving? I mean, yes, we have a large corporate, a large blue chip tenant, but we also creating spaces that SMEs can also take advantage of.
I remember looking at a real estate report some time ago, and I saw that the average cost for commercial real estate in Nairobi was around 103 shillings per square foot. Would it be about the same or slightly less? Or
we can probably do better than that. You definitely get a much more competitive deal and package compared to some of those major nodes that you're referencing.
You're on the highway, a super highway, which is fantastic and it's accessible, but it's on the wrong side of the road. And I've heard that said many times over in the last couple of years. What are your thoughts around that? And do you think it has affected foot traffic and accessibility?
The developers of Garden City, definitely took that in consideration, and is the reason why a lot of investment was put towards creating and improving accessibility to the development. I mean, you have that access road that's on the right side of the road that allows for very easy and convenient access to the mall, to the residences, to the business park. A lot of thought was put towards addressing that fact. In particular, and a lot of investment went towards that.
If there's a company that's in, say, in Europe somewhere, and they're looking to expand into Africa, why should they consider Kenya?
Well, I might be biased, because I love Kenya. It's the reason why I moved back. But being objective about it, Kenya is the gateway for this region. It's a hub for commerce, a stable economy, stable political terrain. Those are, just the functional things that corporates and organizations are looking for when they are looking for environments to invest in. Which other city has a park in the middle of the city? You talk about the beauty of the country.
Perfect weather.
Perfect weather. It's a reason why we have a lot of people who come and don't want to go back. A lot of corporates and a lot of people find it a place that's very easy to settle, a place that's very easy to thrive.
We have a larger population of educated, hardworking people.
Yeah, I completely agree. A great party conversation is, what do you do? And it's like, oh, 9 to 5, I do this, and this is my side hustle.
That's so true.
You know, so you're right. Just, you know, we have a thriving young population with a very amazing work ethic, as you pointed out.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to have had this conversation, and I'll be back. It has been great. If you have any questions around commercial real estate, please go ahead and ask us, and we shall be sure to get back to you. Take care and God bless you. Bye.